So far, we have established that extended producer responsibility should propel the transition towards circularity. Let's have a look at what that means in reality. Downstream, it should guarantee nationwide collection of packaging waste and the setup of high-quality sorting and recycling infrastructure. Any non-recoverable waste should be adequately disposed of. Upstream, it should encourage the redesign of packaging to produce less waste and make the remaining packaging more recyclable. It should further guarantee that all companies putting packaged goods on the market pay their fair share in setting up and operating waste management systems according to the waste they produce. Thus, no company is disadvantaged by the system, and municipalities are freed from the fiscal burden of managing packaging waste. Finally, the EPR scheme must ensure social standards such as decent working conditions and the fair inclusion of small businesses and informal workers. An EPR scheme can only fulfill these functions if it is based on a legal framework which mandates companies' participation and enforces compliance. It must be complete, unambiguous, and specific. The legal framework defines the EPR system's organizational structure, as well as the roles and responsibilities of the different stakeholders. Participation in the EPR scheme must therefore be mandatory. Only then can it guarantee that all packaging waste is adequately treated and all producers contribute to the system. While voluntary EPR schemes by frontrunner companies can be a first step towards gathering experience in EPR, they will never be enough. They lack the scope and the financial sustainability to create nationwide recycling systems. A few key design principles should guide the establishment of the EPR scheme. EPR schemes should be fair. They shouldn't come at a disadvantage for any company. Rules must therefore apply to all businesses in the same way, creating a level playing field. To guarantee this, the legal framework must clearly define what products are included in the EPR scheme and what companies are obliged to contribute. Defining clear responsibilities ensures that every company contributes to the EPR scheme according to the waste produced. Only by clearly defining the companies and types of packaging included, it can be ensured that no producer can free ride and no producer pays twice. First, this includes clear definitions of all packaging types and materials and products included in the EPR scheme. Packaging types typically include household packaging and packaging from equivalent places of origin which produce similar waste streams, such as restaurants or offices. Definitions for materials should include all relevant plastics, such as PP and PET, as well as metals, cardboards, and paper. Provisions should be made for specific products, such as single-use plastic bags. These definitions need to be clear and unambiguous for every product, so as to avoid loopholes and discourage alternative packaging, which doesn't provide environmental benefits. Second, it must be clear which companies are obliged to participate in the EPR scheme. The obliged companies are generally those which put a packaged good on the market, as packaging can most easily be traced at this point. This definition includes both importers and domestic producers. This means it is neither the packaging producer nor the retailer who pays, but the producer of the packaged product. We will refer to these obliged companies as producers throughout the course. The exact definition can vary, but it must be clear to avoid conflicts around the big question, who pays? Third, the legal framework must set out what companies' responsibility entails, what tasks they must fulfill. This may include standards for waste management and recycling, as well as additional tasks such as littering prevention or research and development. By clearly defining these tasks, it can be made sure that all companies justly contribute. Transparency monitoring and enforcement is necessary to ensure compliance with these responsibilities. It guarantees that all companies pay their fair share and free riding is avoided. This is crucial to ensure fair competition. Enforcing these regulations requires strong control bodies equipped with sanctioning mechanisms, such as notable fines. Enhancing transparency through the EPR system can further ensure sound financial management and contribute to eliminating corruption. Making key information about the EPR system public is crucial to ensure its efficient operation and generate trust in it. The viability of EPR schemes further relies on their financial sustainability. The entire EPR scheme should be financed through the fees paid by producers. These fees should cover all operational costs of the EPR system and be used only for the management of packaging's end-of-life costs. This includes all costs for collection, sorting, recycling, monitoring, communication, and all administrative costs. One of the big advantages of EPR schemes is that they foster cooperation along the packaging value chain. As producers must manage their packaging's end-of-life costs, they must cooperate with the packaging manufacturers to redesign their products, with consumers to ensure waste separation, and with waste management service providers to ensure efficient management of their packaging waste. The responsibility to make a change therefore lies with all actors in the value chain. It is a collective effort through the businesses that have the knowledge and leverage to make this change happen. Close coordination and good communication between the different stakeholders should be supported throughout the system setup. This ensures that incentives can be passed on in the value chain. Long-term investments and trust requires cooperation. This is particularly important for the construction of functioning waste management and recycling infrastructure, as well as design changes and citizen engagement. Coordination and clear regulations can therefore guarantee the stable material flows needed to make these investments viable. EPR schemes must be context-specific. They will only be successful if they carefully take existing policies, waste management infrastructure, social, economic, and geographic factors into account. They depend substantially on the knowledge and resources already present locally. Finally, and most importantly, EPR schemes must improve the social and environmental conditions in the countries they are applied in. On the one hand, this means that they must promote the transition towards a circular economy. This requires setting targets for collection, waste reduction, reuse, and recycling of the different materials included in the EPR scheme. These targets must be ambitious and feasible at the same time in order to successively improve product design and waste management. They must be specific, measurable, and sanctionable, so that producers and their PRO can be held accountable against them. For example, Chile's EPR scheme has defined a 60% recycling target in 2030, alongside an 80% coverage of a door-to-door collection system. The recycling targets are differentiated by household and industrial waste, as well as by the type of packaging material. Fines for non-compliance with these targets can reach $10 million. On the other hand, EPR schemes must include social safeguards, complaint mechanisms, and provisions for small enterprises and informal workers to ensure the inclusion of all actors on fair terms. Beyond this, they can support inclusive development and should target the creation of employment, as well as avoiding the displacement of people already working in waste management. I hope you enjoyed this module. The expert voices will help you dive deeper into the topic. See you in the next video.